After helping over 78 investors buy their first investment property and funding over $10 million in loans, I can tell you firsthand the best way that you can buy an investment property. And many have used this 4-step framework to be able to successfully retire or get out of the 9-to-5 rat race. But how do these guys do it? Guys like RJ, who scaled to 97 units in less than a decade, or guys like Chris, who are retiring in their 30s and they make $15K a month working 2 hours a week. Are they trust fund babies? Do they inherit a ton of money? Like, what's going on here? Believe it or not, these are normal, everyday guys that follow this 4-step framework to be able to buy their first investment property, and I'm going to show you how you can implement this in 2025. So after talking to hundreds of investors and interviewing them, I boiled it down to this 4-step framework, and that's strategy, financing, search, and management. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to reveal one mistake that a lot of investors make that they don't even realize will lose them a ton of money down the line. So why does strategy matter? Well, a lot of investors will focus on different niches and throw things at the wall to see what sticks. Successful investors actually pick a specific niche in their local market that they want to focus on. So whether it be single family homes, multifamily properties, distressed properties, whatever the case may be, pick a niche and stick to it. The reason why a lot of these successful investors do that is because if you take John, for example, who wants to buy single family homes, but then also hears that multifamily properties are better, versus Mike, the seasoned investor who knows he wants to focus on condos. He's going to buy condos every single year. Who do you think is going to scale and grow faster? Mike. Because he focuses on condos, he knows what he's looking for, and so every single project that you pursue is going to start looking the same. The HOA, the way the buildings are laid out, you're going to know what to look for when you're buying condos to flip or to hold. Some more examples of real estate niches is you can buy distressed properties, you can focus on multifamily properties, you can do single family homes. There are a lot of different niches, so I put a cheat sheet together for you that has over 35 profitable real estate niches. So if you click on the link in the description, you can get a copy of that document below. I hope that helps. But personally, I believe that multifamily properties are the best ROI. If you can house hack, buy these owner occupied, you can go 3.5 down or 5% down conventional, live in the property, rent out the rest of the units, and you can live basically mortgage free. And then on top of that, if you can fix it up and raise the rents and increase through value adds, that is the best return that you're going to see. So in my opinion, multifamily properties are probably one of the best things that you can pursue as a new investor. But of course, look at the list, look at the profitable niches and see what works for you. But the two main reasons successful investors pick a specific strategy in the beginning is because they'll master faster and they gain a competitive advantage. What I mean by that is as you're searching for properties, you know what to look for. You start getting good at how to structure deals because you see the same thing over and over again. And then also you have a competitive advantage because you know where the value is that most people that aren't specialized in that property type might miss. So if you're really good at single family homes or if you're really good at condos, a lot of people don't know what to look for. But because that's your portfolio and that's what you focus on, you're going to be a lot better off than most investors that just try 40 different niches. So focus on the strategy and pick what niche might be best for you. So you've chosen a property niche, you know what you want to focus on, but how do you actually buy the property? And many investors get stuck on this part, and that's financing, which is the second step of our framework. A lot of investors get excited, they want to buy property, but then their financing either falls through or it's not ready and they lose out on really, really good deals because they didn't know what the lender is going to look for and how to get the financing lined up. Lucky for you, I'm a loan officer, so I have insider tips that I'm going to give you on what to do to prepare financing and to get the best terms. First things first is you want to find a mortgage lender that specializes in working with investors just like me. And what they're going to do is they're going to basically sit down with you and go through a pre-qualification and eventually what we call a pre-approval. But all that means is you fill out an application form and then you send them your income docs and asset docs. Now, the way a lot of investor loans work is different than if you're just buying a house. A common program that we use is the DSCR loan program. I made a video about it. You can check it out more in detail later. But basically allows you to put 20% down and it doesn't have any income or debt verification. Now, most people love the DSCR program because it doesn't require any income verification and it doesn't look at your debt like at all. It just uses the rental income of the property. As long as the rental income covers the mortgage payment, then that loan is good to go, right? But as a 30,000 foot view, there are three things that lenders look at whenever they qualify someone's buying power. That's credit, income, and assets, right? Assets meaning how much do you have liquid, income meaning how much money do you have coming in, and then credit score, your FICO, all that stuff. But just know that any investment property purchase that you do will require 20% down of the purchase price, right? If you want to get the best terms or the best rate, you can start at 25% down, and that'll be the best way you can get good, solid terms on your loan. And for credit score as well, ideally, if you can have above a 740, 760 credit score, you're going to get top tier pricing. If you have anything less than 700, it's going to get a little tricky, but just know that you can get a loan for as low as like 660 on some of these investor loans. So all in all, being prepared with your financing is going to mean that number one, when a deal comes up, you're ready to buy it right away. You don't have to scramble and get paperwork together with a lender. And then number two, you know exactly what you're budgeting for. You know how much your purchasing power is, and you know exactly what to look for. But you can find your niche and you can get your financing ready. All of that is useless without this next part in our framework, the search. If you don't find the property, all the financing and all the homework you did doesn't matter. So what a lot of the successful investors do is their first go-to is obviously the MLS. The MLS is a very popular site that realtors have access to be able to give you all the properties that are active. With the MLS, depending on your market, there are properties that go live daily, like dozens of them, but there are only 10 to 15% of them that actually have investor potential. The reason why this is because most properties are what we call retail listings. They're just listings for the everyday home buyer that wants to buy the property and live in it. But you as the investor, you want to look for those 10 to 15% properties that have the potential to be able to either flip for cash or to be able to buy and hold. Those 10 to 15% properties usually have higher profit margins. So what you're looking for sale by owners, distressed properties, foreclosures, probates, things of that nature. And oftentimes when you're dealing with distressed sellers, you're working with a lot of properties that most buyers don't really want to touch. And so that's your unique advantage, is you can work with properties that many will not even want to see. Now, on top of the MLS, there's other creative ways you can find a deal. You can network with real estate agents, with other investors, see what's going to come on the market. But I made a quick checklist of 10 ways you can creatively find a deal. I'll put that link in the description as well. Let's say you find the property, and that's great. But if you, the real estate agent, and the lender don't do your due diligence in running the numbers to make sure that, hey, every single month I'm getting a return, or every single year I'm getting a return, especially after construction, if you're doing that, then that's where you're going to buy a money pit. So make sure you collaborate with them, get with the lender. Rates change every single day, right? So the interest rate on the mortgage that you're getting is going to be different. If you get it pre-approved, let's say 3 months ago, and you find something now, well, check with the lender. You always want to make sure what are rates doing, and check with the lender that actually approved you, because what you see on Google is not accurate. I promise you, it won't be. You might get ranges, you might get averages, but for investment property loans, the rates are completely different than what you're going to see online. So work with professionals, be patient in your search, and make sure you find the right deal, because if you buy the wrong deal, you can kiss your savings goodbye. All right, so you found the property in your niche, you got the financing, you closed on the deal, but what's the next step in the framework to make sure your investment is actually profitable? And that's going to be management. So here are 4 quick ways successful investors manage their properties to really get the most ROI. The first one is they don't do it alone. They have a strong real estate team, right? So you have the real estate agent, the lender, but then the contractors, the plumbers, electricians. Unless you're doing the work yourself, it helps to have a team around you that could help keep the property in tip-top shape. So the second thing is they use technology to be able to streamline the communication between you and the tenants and to collect rental income. So this is the biggest thing too, is having a portal for tenants to just log in, pay their rent, and then be done. That is the best thing that you can do for your tenant experience. The third thing is they proactively inspect their properties to make sure that there's no damage and that it's well maintained. The reason why this is important is because you want to catch problems early on. For example, we had an investor who had a multifamily property, and on the top unit, there was water leaking down in the unit below. Now, this problem could have been prevented, but because the tenant didn't even know, and because the investor didn't really inspect the property, so now all this damage, you have to spend a lot more money to repair simply because the water issue wasn't addressed early on. So the fourth thing is building strong tenant relationships. You treat your investment property like a business. If you have happy tenants, then you have happy customers, and this is going to help you avoid a lot of vacancies and tenant drop-offs, right? Meaning they're going to stay longer term. And then a bonus problem is tenant screening. If you're not doing a really good job screening the tenants up front, what ends up happening is you get a lot of bad tenants in there that are going to cause nothing but headaches for you. And in a lot of states, especially like in my state in Illinois, when they buy or when they give you the rent and then they move in the property, once they're in, getting them out is very, very difficult. So ideally, screen them well and then keep them and make them happy by doing the little things. For example, I had this one investor that had porch pirates, right? So basically, these are guys that would come and steal all your Amazon UPS packages from your front porch. And so one way and what he did to alleviate this issue is he got a locked box that he bought for like $200. So all the drivers and the delivery people had instructions for how to access it with a code. So you put the box in there right away, right after they complained, and then that solved the issue. And a lot of the tenants were surprised. They were like, man, our previous landlord didn't address like any of the issues that we brought up front. So being able to keep them happy is really going to make sure that you keep them long term as well. A lot of new investors make a lot of mistakes and spend years trying to be able to get to where they want to go, when they could fast track that if they just had the knowledge and the community and the support from other investors. So if you're lost, you don't know where to start, I'll put the link in the description. You can join my waitlist if you want to be a part of a community that's going to help you grow and become financially free. So I hope this video has equipped you with the knowledge to be able to go out and buy your first investment property in 2025. If you have any questions about the process, drop them in the comments below. I also talked about multifamily properties in this video, so if you want to check out more information on how to buy your first investment property, I put the video right here where I'm pointing, and that's going to give you a great A to Z breakdown of how to buy your first multifamily property. My name's Ben Stef. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.